No, no, I am receiving a call. Hello?
अच्छा ऑडियो सब कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है?
नहीं तो कुछ बोलेंगे तब सुनाई देगा, तो कुछ हल्की की आवाज़ तो आ रही है, कुछ टाइप जैसे आप टाइप कर रहे हैं।
टाइप करने की आवाज़ होती है।
हाँ हाँ, आपको सब म्यूट करना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा उधर से म्यूट करना पड़ेगा उधर से नहीं करना नहीं म्यूट करता तो हम म्यूट नहीं कर पाते after you talk, you can mute and unmute yourself, and also you can mute that video for yourself.
I have unmuted now. Otherwise, no, something echo comes out, no, so that's why. You want me to unmute now? I have unmuted. That's why I don't want to talk now. You can start now. Mine will be at the end only. So that's why I'm muting it. I'm unmuting. તમે તમારું વાંચી લે પછી કાઢજો તમે તમારું વાંચી લો પછી કાઢજો વાંચી લો હા
लिंक वही है ना यहाँ पर भी स्टूडेंट कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं कि लिंक नहीं मिल रहा है
नहीं सर यूट्यूब का ना
हाँ
यूट्यूब पर लिंक वही है सर वही मैंने खोला उसी से खोला
लेकिन उन्होंने तो बोले कि लिंक नहीं मिल रहा है लिंक कौन सा है यहाँ पर थोड़ा टाइप करके लिख दो सबको इधर यहाँ पर मैं दिखा दूँ
मैं शेयर करके
यस मैडम
शेयर करता हूँ
नहीं तुम इसमें इसमें तुम लिख दो है Start कर दो. So let us start. Good morning to one and all present over here. My name is Dr. B.K. Devnath, Assistant Professor in the Department of Applied Science, Tezpur University. On behalf of Organizing Committee, I welcome you all in the national webinar on Advance of Mathematical Modeling of Infectious Disease. As you all know, the whole world is suffering from an infectious virus called coronavirus. And this is not the first time that we face the spread of such virus. We have seen the spread of SARS virus also. The disease is transmitted by contact, direct or indirect, between an infected individual and a susceptible individual. The disease is transmitted instantaneously when the contact takes place. Mathematical modeling of such infectious disease predicts the transmission or impact of intervention. Thus, the study on infectious disease are multidisciplinary. Engineers, biotechnologists, medical professionals, and mathematicians, everybody comes together and doing research on it. That is why this webinar is essential in these perspectives. I feel honored to have two renowned mathematicians with us, Professor Nita Hasmukh Shah, who is a professor at the Department of Mathematics, Gujarat University, Professor Chandrakanta Jaggi, Professor at Department of Operation Research, Faculty of Mathematical Science, University of Delhi. Also, we have with us our constant inspiration and very experienced administrator, Dean Sir, Professor Smriti Kumar Sinha, Professor at Department of CSC and current Dean of School of Engineering. And also, we have with us our HOD ma'am, Professor Charulata Mahanta, who is a professor at Food Engineering and Technology. And we have with us our fellow colleagues, Dr. Somnath Pal, Dr. Shed, Dr. Biplav Sarkar, and myself. So, with this, may I now invite our Dean Sir to inspire the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning to all. Good morning to the experts, and good morning to those who are listening to the deliberations in this webinar at a distance of space at the same time. Now, today's topic of the webinar, as it is said, is the advances in mathematical modeling of infectious diseases. And you know well that the infectious diseases, we are going through a threshold, we are going through a normal condition all over the world for infectious diseases, but it is not only regarding the present infectious diseases, it is about all the infectious diseases in general, and the main focus is how to model the behaviors and also the experimentation and the complicated the behaviors of or the dynamics of infection, and also how to predict. So this is the, and you know, for everything now in the real world situations of the problems, we try to understand the problem in deep by doing mathematical modeling. And mathematical modeling, there are many different types of mathematical modeling. into computer science, we try to model the things using like finite state machines or also by graph. So just for that, so virally, when infectious disease also just like a virus, but in case of computer science, the virus flag or the message process, we model it through graph theoretical tools, using graph theoretical tools, and also by using finite state machines in a discrete method. Similarly, there are also other ways. Today's focus, as I understand, is using some continuous variables, and experts are there, they deliver. I am eager to listen to their deliberations, and I welcome our keynote speakers, Professor Geeta Hasmukh Shah from Gujarat University. I welcome you, madam, to this webinar organized by a very new department, almost it's a baby state, and they are trying to connect, building up the networks with experts and the other things all over the country or abroad, so that this new department now get they can give a stride in their research as well as in teaching. I thank you very much for giving consent to deliver this talk on the topic as an expert. I also welcome Professor Chandrakant Jackie and from Delhi University. Thank you very much, Professor Jackie, for helping this new department to come up, particularly in the field of research. And you can see this bunch of young faculty members. They are under the guidance of very experienced head, Professor Carlota Mahanto. They are trying to find out the direction of their research collectively as well as individually, because it's a department of applied sciences where physics, chemistry, maths. Okay, this is a heterogeneous combination. So they are trying to do most probably finding out a way to proceed, particularly in research, okay, which is very applied research. So I hope that your deliberation will inspire them in that for doing researches. And I also encourage them to organize such events very often, because now it is because of COVID-19, it's not possible to organize it in a physical, same place, same time coordinate. But hopefully by this technology, we can have these different places at the same time coordinate, we are interacting, and that will be fruitful. It, and as I understand from that the study of spread of infectious disease basically goes through different states, and different states may be starting state in maybe the susceptible state, and also then as soon as it is infected, then it goes to the infected state. The state transition occurs, and once it crosses some threshold value of the level of pathogens, then that threshold, when it crosses, then it becomes infectious. That is a very dangerous state. And once it is calmed down, then it comes to the recovered state, and that may be the final state in the state transition diagram. And this is the limited knowledge I have. And also, since I came to know from Professor Zaki, I came to know that he is in operational research. His specialization is also operational research. So I hope that he can also give light as an optimization problem, how to minimize or mitigate the things. I don't know whether I'm not an expert in the field, but with the best, my little knowledge in operational research, particularly whether we can model it as a linear, the constraint and the optimization function as a linear or these things or a non-linear, that we will be coming to know from Professor Jackie's deliberation. And without spending much time, I welcome all the participants and our keynote speakers and also the organizers who are also the learners, and including myself. And because uh, my august keynote speakers, I came to know from my teachers and my student life that all of us are learners. And learn is such a verb in English which has past tense and past participles only in dictionary. In real life, it's always present continuous. So I am also a learner and I am listening to the deliberations today. Thank you all. Thank you once again to join in this event. Okay, on advances in mathematical modeling of infectious disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Uh, Now, may I invite Dr. Somnath Pal to introduce our first keynote speaker, Professor Neeta Hashmukh Shah, to address the gather. So, with his kind words. So, over to you, Dr. Sompal.
Thank you, Vijay. Let me introduce to all of you to Professor Dr. Neeta Hashmukh Shah. Professor Shah is head of the Department of Mathematics in Gujarat University, India. She has received her PhD in statistics from Gujarat University. She was a postdoctoral visiting research fellow of University of New Brunswick, Canada. Her research interests include inventory modeling in supply chain, robotic modeling, mathematical modeling of infectious diseases, image processing, dynamical systems and its applications, etc. Professor Shah has completed 3 UGC-sponsored projects and has published 13 monographs, 5 textbooks, and 475 and over peer-reviewed research papers. By the Google Scholar, the total number of citations is over 3025 till August 16. Her H index is 24 up to June 28, 2020, and ideal index is 77. She has guided 28 PhD students so far and 13 MPhil students. 8 students are pursuing research for their PhD degree, and 1 postdoctoral fellow of Dr. D.S. Kodri UGC Fellowship. She is a fellow of ISCA. She is also Vice President of Operational Research Society of India. She is Council Member of the Indian Mathematical Society, President of Operational Research Society of India, Ahmedabad chapter. I welcome you, ma'am, and over to Vijay for the next proceedings. Thank you.
So, thank you, Dr. Somnath Pal. May I now invite Professor Shah to deliver his lecture. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Department of Applied Sciences, Tezpur University. Thank you, Dr. Singha, for giving brief about the conference topic, that is advances in infectious diseases. I agree with your words that this is multidisciplinary. Mathematics cannot go without biology. Mathematics cannot go without computer science. And it's really a huge opportunity during this pandemic COVID-19 that we can come on one platform and explore our new frontiers. And I hope from my talk, that is what little it has, will inspire a young team. I can see Dr. Bijoy, Dr. Somnath, Dr. Vipsov, and Madam Charulata, that they will get inspired and will able to do good amount of research work in different areas. Secondly, this pandemic, we have seen since last 20 years a good number of pandemics. We had seen Zika, Ebola, SARS, swine flu, and recent one, pandemic COVID-19. But as you said, everything has its peak and then it goes to the stable state. no doubt this pandemic COVID-19 will not go away immediately, but it will come to its recession maybe by September 3rd week. That is, infection, number of patients will increase, but infection will decrease, and that is what me and my team forecasted in April. That is, on 16th April, we had forecasted this. But these pandemics are going to go away. But today, I am talking about the pandemic of HIV TB, which is very serious infectious disease, and mainly in South Africa. No doubt it is there in almost all countries. So let us have, and once I have HIV that reduces immunity, so there are opportunist diseases which are always knocking at the door of infectious person. Person may suffer from malaria frequently, may suffer from H1N1 influenza frequently, and many more diseases because of low immunity power. So I'm sharing my screen with my topic today, that is HIV TB co-infection. Can you see my screen?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So now can start with. So
Now it is, madam, it is not in the format of PPT. So please present.
Yes, it is in PowerPoint. So
Okay.
let me check one more slide now.
No, madam.
Okay, let me see. Do it again. Wait.
Please open it.
Now. Is it?
No, madam. It's appear at the first page like Nita 658 Tezpur University.
Okay, wait. I'm doing it again.
Now it's appeared.
But it should be slide now. Now I will be opening as PowerPoint.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, title of the talk is HIV TB co-infection, and we'll be understanding this co-infection mathematically. This is teamwork of myself, Nisha Sharon. She is a full-time research scholar and getting fellowship from State of Higher Education, and Yash Shah, who has completed MBBS and pursuing for next degree. He is preparing for competitive exam. So, according to World Health Organization, the population suffering from human immunodeficiency virus, in short we call it HIV infection, over a period of time may suffer from TB infection, which increases the death rate. Because the person who is suffering from HIV has low immunity and number of disease can be inherited by this infectious person. And in this talk, we will talk about the TB, tuberculosis. There is no cure for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, that is AIDS, which is the last stage of HIV to date, but antiviral can slow down the progression of disease as well as prevent secondary infections or complications. So we don't have any particular medicine to stop HIV infected person to suffer from AIDS, which is the last stage of HIV infection, but taking medicine in the sense which increases immunity can slow down the progression of disease, and secondary infection and complications can be reduced. I'm not saying can be controlled. In the public health sector, HIV continues to be the major health threat globally, having claimed more than 32 million lives till date. This data is of May 31st. There were approximately 37.9 million people living with HIV at the end of 2018. And growth rate of HIV infection is almost 5%. So by 2020, it must have reached 42 plus million people. The human immunodeficiency virus is a virus that spread through certain body fluids, attacking the body's immune system, specifically the CD4 cells. So the HIV, that is virus, targets CD4 cells. The immune function is typically measured by CD4 cell count. That is, this HIV reduces CD4 cells count, and over time, HIV can destroy so many of the cells that the body can't fight against infections and diseases, which paves the way for many opportunities diseases. So loss of CD4, which are responsible for our immunity, gets lost because of HIV virus, and so road track is open for many other diseases. One such disease is tuberculosis. It is contagious disease caused by bacteria, bacillus, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The bacteria mostly attack the lungs, but it can also damage other parts of the body. Most of the time, tuberculosis has two different versions. One is pulmonary and second one is non-pulmonary. In pulmonary tuberculosis, lungs are getting infected, and non-pulmonary, which happens more TB, it is non-pulmonary. And both of them are highly infectious. No doubt, lungs are more infectious as compared to bone TB, because when a person sneezes, they leave huge number of bacteria in air, and it goes to the another person, and if another person is not highly immune, then most likely to get infected by the tuberculosis. And that is what next line says. The population living with HIV are 15 to 22 times more likely to catch TB. And study has been said by me and my team that 35% HIV infected suffers from malaria. It is the most commonly occurring illness among HIV infected individuals, including among those taking antiretroviral treatment. This antiretroviral treatment is treatment in which HIV person can sustain immunity. But HIV and TB are working in opposite direction in terms of medication. In the sense, if you go for controlling HIV, TB will raise the head, and if you take TB's medication, HIV will raise the head. This interaction explains the fact that HIV and TB co-infection is a deadly human syndemic, where syndemic refers to the convergence of two or more diseases that exacerbate the burden of the disease. And that was said by Kevin et al. In 2012. That is, obviously, there is a medication for tuberculosis. So we have convergence of or control on tuberculosis, but not on HIV. That's why statement says the syndemic refers to convergence of two or more diseases. For the treatment of HIV, the HIV drugs called antiretrovirals are advised. ARD, in general, antiretrovirals we label as ARD. ARD reduces the risk of TB infection in people living with HIV by 65%. So this suggests 65% is a huge number when infectious disease is to be considered. So it plays a significant role in preventing TB. That is, ART medication plays a significant role in preventing TB. And TB can be controlled, at least in India it is quite controlled, because from the birth of child, India is utilizing the BCG vaccination program. And to my knowledge, from the website of Indian government, that is, we have swiped up TB. The swiped up means new infection is not coming up, but that doesn't mean that the person who was infected by HIV is also not getting infected by TB. And that is because of BCG strategy which we are following since long. And BCG strategy has also proved to be immunoprofiler for COVID-19. My paper is coming up. It is in the publication stage. That is, it helps in controlling COVID-19 infection because it increases immunity of the person. Mathematical modeling has enhanced the understanding of disease dynamics. The first compartmental model was given by Cameron and McEdrick in 1927. Now, already Dean sir said that there are different models one can think of for understanding transmission of diseases. If statistical data is considered, then machine learning and artificial intelligence can be used to predict the nature of the disease. Statistician can use R language, and once they have data, that is what we call statistician can use data analytics using big data. But being a mathematician, I will be combining it with medicine, transmission of disease, and its control if it can be. Some basic papers are by Katin et al. Of 2007 and 2008. They constructed mathematical models by formulating nonlinear differential equation for their perspective models and were worked out with the critical point, equilibrium point, critical points and equilibrium points from mathematical point of view, one and the same, of the respective system and various relative properties. Now, these researchers took nonlinear differential equation. That means disease is continuously getting transmitted, similar to COVID-19. But one can also have discrete mathematical model, and they can use finite element method or finite difference method to have the prediction. Kirsten et al. In 1999 developed a model for HIV and TB co-infection inside a host. Host means a person who was infected by HIV and get infection of TB. That is, what are the percentage of getting TB to the HIV infected. This was the first attempt to understand how TB affects the dynamics of HIV infected individual. TB is known to be common serious opportunistic infection occurring among HIV individuals, and it occurs more than 50% of the AIDS cases. Because as I said in the beginning, AIDS is the last stage of HIV, and person who develop AIDS has lost almost immunity, so TB is at that door. And this is the case in developing countries. Yes. So developing countries are at the high risk. Naresh et al. In 2005 developed a simple non-linear mathematical model dividing population into 4 subclasses, namely susceptible, TB infected, HIV infected, and AIDS patient. Now, this susceptible are those who are either suffering from other diseases. Because of low immunity, they can get either TB or HIV, and then both of them can move to AIDS. But this was very simple one, where Naresh et al. Divided whole population into 4 compartments. There are many more rooms, compartment one can see in terms of rooms, to be visualized. The treatment class in HIV/AIDS co-infection model was first introduced by Yo et al. In 2016. This treatment class is having 2 versions. First, treatment is to be given to HIV infected for increasing their immunity in terms of vitamins and all. And for TB, they will be given the 6 months course medication or 9 months course medication or 1.5 year course medication. Bono et al. In 2009, in his co-infection model, considered all aspects of TB and HIV transmission dynamics, with both HIV and TB drugs. This paper incorporated ARTs for AIDS cases. That is, ART is the main medication, as I said in previous slide, and studied its effect on TB. However, the author did not consider the case where individuals co-infected with HIV/TB can effectively recover from TB infection. So that is what was looking here. Singh et al. Studied the transmission dynamics of HIV/AIDS epidemic model, considering 3 different latent stages based on the treatment. So latent stage can also be divided into further subclasses, whether it is pre-AIDS case or AIDS case. Torres et al. In 2014 incorporated both TB and AIDS treatment for individuals suffering with either or both diseases. In our model, we have divided total population in 7 compartments. We are starting, because my model says HIV/TB, so we will start with acute HIV infected individuals. That is, susceptibles are those who are acute HIV infected individuals. And HPV stands for co-infected with HIV TB. First, let us see what are the rooms we will have to consider. Pre-AIDS stage, that is those who have HIV, will move towards pre-AIDS stage. One can go for medication, that is infected individuals undergoing any type of treatment, say ARVs and any TB treatment. For I said about 6 months, 9 months, 1.5 year course for TB. Then pre-AIDS is already there and individual gets infected with TB. So we say pre-AIDS TB group. Now once infected person is diagnosed as pre-AIDS, he is born to go with HIV infected individual showing clinical AIDS symptoms. And next class is ATB, which is HIV infected individuals with AIDS symptoms and co-infected with TB. So this compartmental diagram says the person who suffers from HIV will suffer from pre-AIDS, and pre-AIDS will suffer from AIDS. And rates are given on the arrows. Now, HIV sufferer will try to retard disease intensity by going for a medication. And if he gets infected by TB, obviously we will go for medication, that is green shaded. And the one who suffers from pre-AIDS, obviously his immunity has decreased a lot, so he once again go for, he may get TB infection. So we have pre-AIDS TB infection. And the person who suffered from pre-AIDS is bound to go for AIDS. So pre-AIDS individual go for AIDS, and AIDS may also get TB infection. Now, as I said, we will be talking about the continuous one. So we have, to model this, this is already said, but still once again, if you have missed something, susceptible class is considered to be HIV infected, that is acute HIV infection, and this class is increased by new recruitments. So it says new recruitments of newly HIV infected individuals at the rate B. All the individuals in their respective compartments suffer from natural death at the constant rate mu. So person can move away from each room by a natural death at constant rate mu. Not necessary that whether he is suffering from HIV or TB or HIV TB, his death has occurred, we consider it and it moves away by their natural death rate, and it is considered to be mu. Individuals undergoing medication, that is treatment, through ARTs just lowers the rate of progression from HIV disease to AIDS, as HIV can never be cured. The individuals infected with HIV develops very weak immune system, that is the major symptom, which means they are likely to get infected by many opportunistic diseases. And TB is considered to be one of the most commonly occurring diseases among HIV patients. Now, we will develop mathematical model. Now, I had already explained how it moves. So now I need to know at what rate HIV infected individuals are going to pre-AIDS on medication or suffers from TB also. So our well-known tool of the nonlinear differential equation comes into picture. So we have rate of change of HIV infected equal to B, that is the newly recruitment, minus at what rate? So beta 1 HIV gets HIV TB. So we have non-linear term H into HTB. Capitals are meant for compartments and they are called state variables. Minus, you are getting removed by HIV by beta 2, beta 3 and natural immunity. So we have minus beta 2 plus beta 3 plus mu into H. Now, how we have constructed this differential, non-linear differential equation, those who enters in particular row will be getting added and those who are moving away from the row, that is who exit the row, will be taken as negative sign. Next, we have rate of change of HIV and TB infected. So some individuals who were suffering from AIDS were getting added to be suffered by TB. Then from HTB, they are moving towards two routes. You can say PATB. So those who had HIV TB is getting infected from pre-HTB and some of them go for medication. Minus mu, that is menstrual birth rate in HTB class, plus beta 4, that is who opt for medication. Similarly, we have rate of change of pre-AIDS individuals. We have for medication and we have for pre-AIDS TB. Then for AIDS and next is what? AIDS and TB both. Now here you can see one more term, that is mu D TB. That is death due to TB in AIDS TB class. Death is not because of AIDS but due to TB. But here you can see this mu D. Now let me have one more previous equation. Okay, here mu D. That is rate of change of AIDS individuals is high term mu D. This mu D is death rate because of disease AIDS. And ATB, in ATB we had death due to TB. Okay, now we have in all 7, we have a system of 7 non-linear differential equations. Then you must have studied in your coursework that how to analyze this differential equation. A total population, that is N of T, is sum of all these state variables. Okay. Now I am in the stage of analyzing system of non-linear differential equation. If I add up all the rate of change of differential equation, that will give me rate of change of differential equation of the total population which has been considered. So that turns out to be less than or equal to B minus mu into individuals in all the 8 compartments. Now, obviously, the bracket term is capital N. So I can say that rate of change of total population is B minus mu N. B is new recruitment and mu is death rate. So for sufficiently large N, that is for sufficiently large time, this total population is bounded by recruitment rate and natural death rate. And it has to get bounded, otherwise neither of the diseases will remain controllable. So one property we proved about the system, that it is bounded. Second is, now I have a feasible region for the system represented by gamma, where H is obviously non-negative. Others can be 0. But obviously, total sum is bounded by B by mu, which has been said earlier. Next step is, now when I say that I have a feasible region, that means my system is well defined and well posed. The next step is to go on the equilibrium points. Put all differential equation equal to 0 and put all rates to be equal to 0 and we will get equilibrium points. Here first equilibrium point is saying that no HIV TB co-infection and no pre-AIDS TB. We have H1 because we started with susceptible to be those individuals who were suffering from HIV. Okay. So this is one equilibrium point where I am safe in the sense HIV person is neither having TB co-infection or they are not moving towards a pre-AIDS TB. Then second equilibrium point is saying no HIV TB co-infection, but there can be pre-AIDS TB. And that has been moved from the person who was HIV got declared as pre-AIDS, so he is likely to have pre-AIDS TB. Then third equilibrium point is saying that no pre-AIDS TB. If in fact HIV infected person takes precautions, proper medication and proper precautions, I will have no pre-AIDS TB. Pre-AIDS will be there, but pre-AIDS TB will not be there. And the last one, that is endemic equilibrium, where optimal number of HIV TB, pre-AIDS medication, because this medical treatment is quite costly, so everybody cannot afford. Pre-AIDS TB, AIDS and AIDS TB. So that is optimal number will be. That's why we call it endemic equilibrium. Now once I know endemic equilibrium points, next thing is to know one infected individual will infect how many. And for that, we need to find out the reproduction number. The reproduction number measures the expected number of secondary infected individuals produced due to an infected individual during its entire death period in an uninfected population. So this number is actually one infected person infects how many new infections. Okay? So that is called reproduction number. Now we will characterize reproduction number, but first let us see how to calculate it. So reproduction number is defined as, in this particular model, as the number of infected individuals due to AIDS or TB infected individual in the HIV infected population. And how to calculate this reproduction number? Method is called next generation matrix method and is defined as, that is reproduction number, is defined as the spectral radius of FV inverse. The spectral radius comes from our functional analysis result, and in functional analysis we are understanding spectral radius as the highest eigenvalue, highest positive eigenvalue, or if eigenvalues are complex in nature, then largest eigenvalue with positive real part is defined as reproduction number. So for the model, which I said in terms of different nonlinear differential equation, first we will calculate F. This matrix is considering only those which are nonlinear in term. That is nonlinear in the sense one room is not infecting another room. So that is what has been calculated. The next one is V, and this V is actually derived infection. Derived in the sense, if I suffer from one, what is the rate at which I will suffer from the second one? So we call it derived. Now obviously, because in the previous slide, if you recollect, we said FV inverse we are going to work out. So obviously this V should be non-singular. Otherwise I will not be able to define the V inverse. Okay, so it requires some calculation. Those calculations are done by mathematical software. Me and my team are using Maple for getting equilibrium point and all. The dominant, that is the largest eigenvalue of F inverse at E1, because E1 was pre-dates, no pre-dates and no TB infection. This is given by R0, and it covers almost all the parameters or rates of infection. And the endemic, the next part I have to find out when this system will turn out to be stable. Okay, and stable means stability you can define that if you slightly change, slightly disturb the system, what is the criteria that it will attain its stability once again? Like very good basic. If disease is to be globally asymptotically stable, this derivative should be less than or equal to 0. So try to do some calculation with the given system and optimal values, what are ending up with, and also take B equal to mu times all the compartments, that is all the optimal state variables. Also, you have to consider death rate due to AIDS and death rate due to TB. So if I consider this D to be this quantity, I can prove that dL star by dt is less than or equal to 0. And equal to 0 means there won't be any patient of HIV which is not a possible, that is, which is not a reality. So we will not consider, we will say that this should be less than or equal to 0 for endemic equilibrium point to be globally asymptotically stable. Then lastly, invariance principle gives me condition that the endemic equilibrium point is globally asymptotically stable. Now, next criteria what I should think about, once in HIV infected individual gets cured for TB, But is there any criteria which says that recurrence of TB can occur? And for that, we have gone with backward bifurcation. It is like if the reproduction number is greater than 1, reproduction number generally is called threshold. If it is greater than 1, then system exhibits a unique positive solution. And we already said that we are working with real system, so this I can take it for granted without loss of generality. And with once again some calculation, if I can control on pre-AIDS, then I can have a new function that is given by function of pre-AIDS optimum in terms of quantity, with B0, B1, B2 as some constants which are in the terms of rates at which disease is getting transmitted. And yes, answer is, it says that TB can be recurrent. If threshold remains less than 1, TB can be controlled. And obviously once TB can be controlled, co-infection can be controlled. But if the threshold increases 1, that is, if one infected person gives infection to more than one person, then system gets unstable. Okay. And particularly this is for pre-AIDS. So pre-AIDS group is to be targeted at very critical stage. And this says there is a turning point at which system gets transformed from stability to instability. It says RC is equal to 0.95 critical value, after which co-infection attains stability. So in 95% of cases, co-infection can attain stability, and this stability will be from TB point of view. Okay. Now, we already had closed form of threshold, so I can go with the sensitivity analysis. You can see that transmission rate of co-infection occurs at 49%, quite a huge number. That is individual who suffers from HIV suffers from TB, and out of 100, 49 suffers from TB. More than that, harmful is this one. Among HIV infection, around 90% of them joins pre-AIDS stage. Even if you go for improving your immunity by medication, HIV person is likely to suffer from AIDS on that is 90. That is, out of 190 will suffer from pre-AIDS. Now here, individuals moving towards medication can be increased further by, it says that 60% medication and 51% pre-AIDS TB medication should be taken. But we know that because of social threat in the sense, if I'm suffering from HIV, I will not like to disclose that I'm suffering from, okay, because of society pressure. Obviously, I will have a fear that I may be thrown out of the society. So this is that individual moving towards medication can be increased further by creative awareness program. And that is what is going on, at least in India. Then we have 77% of individuals in pre-AIDS class opt for medication. So awareness program has increased the pre-AIDS class to go for the medication by 77%. Then we have the transmission rate of individuals from pre-AIDS TB stage to TB stage is almost 100%, because it says 99.67%. So it is as good as 100%. When we plotted we wanted to visualize how transmission is going on. So this is about 34%, sorry, about 34% of total HIV infected population within 15 months gets TB infection. And you can visualize this in terms of colors. If it is black color, you can have black color in the trajectory. Approximately 30% of individuals infected with HIV goes for treatment in 27 months. So this is quite a delay period. This will go immediately. Co-infected individuals undergo treatment for TB in 11 months. This is quite obvious because we are now not fear of TB treatment. And because TB is curable, more and more co-infected individuals are for the TB treatment. Within 26 months, approximately 31% of HIV infected goes for the AIDS, that is develops AIDS. It's a quite huge number. Out of 100 HIV, 31 HIV will move towards AIDS, that they will suffer from full-blown AIDS. And about 22% of pre-AIDS infected gets TB infection and joins pre-AIDS TB in 20 months. We have not plotted co-infection because it was going to be 100%. Then individuals in the pre-AIDS class initially undergo medication, and then due to ignorance or any other social reason, maybe financial constraint, individual leaves the compartment and after some time again joins the medication class. Because most of the time, this, as I said initially, that AIDS treatment is very costly and and everybody knows that it is not going to be curable. So because of financial constraints, social reason, or family problem, we will not to go for medication anymore. But as I said, immunity will decrease by a higher rate. So once again, individual will go for the medication class. Between approximately 1.7 to 4 months, individuals in the pre-AIDS class who had not taken any kind of medication will suffer from AIDS. Whereas those who undergo treatment gets infected by AIDS within 28 months. So this last two observations says that if you don't go for any treatment, then you will have a full-blown AIDS in 4 months. But by taking treatment, that is by increasing your immunity, you can delay AIDS infection by 28 months. So this shows that the medication is helpful, even though it does not help in the complete elimination of the disease, but the rate of disease spread, that is the intensity of the disease spread, can be controlled. So that is what is from. Now we need to see individuals in pre-AIDS class for longer duration gets HTB at faster rate than the individuals who have just joined pre-AIDS class. That is, more and more individuals from pre-AIDS suffers from AIDS TB co-infection. This trajectory's parallel direction gives individuals suffering from HIV suffers from TB also, and the both compartments stabilizes after some time, in the sense HIV gets controlled, intensity of HIV gets controlled, and TB gets cured. Here, the trajectory shows relationship between pre-AIDS TB and pre-AIDS. So individuals in pre-AIDS class suffers from TB, but presently is showing stability. So TB will be getting cured. Now, this is a very useful result. The newly HIV TB infected individuals and individuals in pre-AIDS TB class will oscillate cyclically. This is that those who got infection will never come out of this cycle, first thing. And secondly, recurrence of tuberculosis will occur. That's why we say it oscillates cyclically. Here, neither compartment will die out completely, nor it will grow indefinitely. This indefinitely in the sense we are in the phase of controlling tuberculosis. Mind well, not HIV. So this is to be controlled. It should not go into recurrence again and again. This pie chart says of the total population, 21% are HIV infected. HIV infected, and 13% of HIV infected suffers from TB co-infection. Whereas percentage of individuals in pre-AIDS and pre-AIDS TB are 16%. Because infection has already created problem for individual and 6% respectively. So out of 21%, 16% are going towards pre-AIDS and 6% moves towards pre-AIDS TB. And this effect may be because of treatment, medication. A total of 15% of the population undergoes treatment for both the diseases. Quite a good number because both treatments are quite costly. Since HIV/AIDS is not curable, even after taking treatment, 70% of cases leads to AIDS infection and 12% are infected by TB, and both disease, that is co-infection, is bound to occur. So 12% who are infected by TB are moving towards the AIDS TB class. So the conclusion of this study is threshold with the computed and observed data is 2.262. What does this mean? Shows the persistence of the disease in the society. That is, one infected person will infect almost 2 more individuals. That is, HIV/AIDS cannot be eradicated, that is, cannot be removed completely from the infected population. Next, global stability for the equilibrium point, where there is no co-infection, and the instances when there is no individual in the pre-AIDS TB class are shown using Castillo method, and those who are working or wants to work with infectious diseases should read this paper and should grasp Castillo's method to establish global stability of the equilibrium points. Third observation is the equilibrium point, where there is no co-infection and no individual in pre-AIDS TB class is proved to be globally unstable and is said to be exhibited bifurcation because they will make society, that is disease transmission, from stable state to unstable state. So this is what is from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your great talk and insightful address. May I now request Dr. Biplab Sarkar to present the questions to ma'am. Over to you, Dr. Biplab.
Just a minute, I'm stopping sharing so I can see you. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, ma'am. May I now request Dr. Biplab Sarkar to present questions to ma'am? Question for
Any
all.
questions?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hello. We have a good number of participants from YouTube. Around 100 participants are watching, and we have received a good number of questions in the chat box. And I'm sharing a few of the selected questions due to time limit. So the first question is from Kilana Kumasekar. So the question is, how HIV infection can be completely prevented?
That requires awareness. Self-awareness can be used.
Okay. Thank you, madam. The next question is from Parth Sarkar. He is asking, what is the application of mathematics on COVID-19?
I should say you can just search me on Google. You will get all the applications, almost 17 applications of mathematical modeling and control strategies by me and my team are available.
Okay.
Either as a preprint or as a published papers.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. The next question is from Deepti Dev. The question is, what is the application of mathematics on the flow rate of cancerous cells?
That can be done, but I have not worked out. It can be done. Because in cancerous cell, once again CD4 plus comes into picture. They get damaged, and so one can think of. I had not done.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Sivraj Swami. The question is, what is culture test?
From medical point of view, I have no idea cultural test, but they take swat from the place and then they put it in the laboratory. Instruments are there. Every test is having their own time span. Some cultural test is taking 24 hours. That is how bacteria or virus is increasing. That is growing, and how they are mutating. That is what is cultural test, and that is what is used for tuberculosis.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you, ma'am. The next question is from Malan. So the question is, what symptoms of HIV are clearly visible when one is in first stage of having HIV positive?
So you're not audible. Will you please repeat question again, sir?
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. So the question is, what symptoms of HIV are clearly visible when one is in the first stage of having HIV positive?
Symptoms are weakness, frequently suffering from fever, common cold, H1N1. These are the symptoms. But the main symptoms is weakness. But now that symptom is also for the COVID-19 in the beginning.
Yes.
So don't go, if you find weakness, don't go for HIV test. First go for COVID-19 test.
Yes, ma'am. Next question from Somat Sheikh is corona is part of protein and by itself is not active. Is this correct?
No, it is not correct. It is protein, no doubt, but it is very active, and in fact, it remains active for 8 hours on the surface. It floats in air, so it is very active.
Okay. So the last question is smoking by Shivraj, is smoking a cause of TB? And if yes, then why this mathematical modeling stop selling tobacco product which is more effective than any model? The question is a bit not clear, but he wants to know.
It seems that somebody wants to know about to control tuberculosis, one should stop smoking.
Yes.
Once again, I will say that my paper is already available in the printed form, in which we studied that smoking, control on smoking by government and by self reduces numbers. Your family members are tuberculosis as compared to you. You are only inhaling by smoking, while family members are inhaling at a high rate. So do not smoke.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Due to time constraints, there are a few more questions, but the dear participants, due to time constraints, I'll not be taking up any more questions. Now I hand over to Vijay, and thank you, madam, for the
Thank you.
So thank you, madam, for your valuable talk. So if anyone is interested to know more about these topics, then go through his just a Google search by his name, and you will get a quite number of papers published by her. So thank you, ma'am, once again. May I now invite Dr. Somnath Pal to our second.
Vijay, I'm having a class at 12:30. Jackie sir, I'm sorry, I will not able to attend your lecture. I have class at 12:30. But I want to thank you. Good to see you on the page. Yeah. Thanks to COVID-19. Vijay and the whole team, thank you very much for inviting me. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So may I now invite Dr. Somnath Pal to introduce Professor Jaggi with the gatherings. So over to you, Dr. Somnath.
Thank you, Vijay. It was really a nice session by them. Dear all, let me now introduce you to Professor Chandra K. Jaggi. He was a former head, Department of Operational Research, University of Delhi. His research interest lies in the field of supply chain and inventory management. He has enriched research experience with around 150 publications in journals of high reputation. He has supervised 17 PhDs and 26 MPhil students so far. His papers have Global Scholar citations as 2,275 with H index of 24 and I10 index of 48. He is a fellow member of Operational Research Society of India since 2017. He is fellow member of International Science Community Association since 2012. He is associate editor of Web Search and IJSAEM Springer and editorial board of the IJSS Operations and Logistics, IJSOI, AJOR, and so on. He is the recipient of Amity Academic Excellence Award in February 2019 by Amity University, Noida, and a Lifetime Achievement Award by International Organization of Scientific Research and Development, Visakhapatnam, July 2018. He was honored with the International Best Researcher Award 2017 by the International Science Community Association in the 7th International Science Congress at Bhutan. Certificate of Excellence Bharat Vikas Award was awarded for loyalty, diligence, and outstanding performance in the field of operational research by the Institute of Self-Reliance, Bhubaneswar in 2017. He is a recipient of the Best Teacher Award by the Grace India Educational Charitable Trust, New Delhi, for his outstanding contribution to academics in 2017. He is a life member of learned societies such as ORSI, ISCA, CSI, ISPS, Quality and Operations Management, AIMS International, etc. He has been a member of different committees of UGC, CSIR, University of Delhi, and in the governing bodies of the University of Delhi Colleges, Central University of Haryana, NTU Rohtak, etc. I welcome you, sir, and I'm very eager to listen to you. Over to Vijay. Thank you so much.
So he has many more achievements, so not countable, and he is one of the best researchers and a big name in the field of operation research. So with this, may I invite Professor Jaggi to present his topic of discussion. So thank you once again, sir, and please.
Thank you, Vijay, and so for the words. And first of all, I thank you all, and I wish you all success because I told by the dean, Professor Sinha, that is the young department. The youngsters are also there. So I wish you all the best for your future, and let me now continue with this. Just a minute, I'm finding it a bit troublesome.
Yes, sir, no problem.
This is being wrong with me. It's my server. It was there visible, but now it's not coming. But can you see the screen now, please?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can see.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. I'll be speaking on something that advances in mathematical modeling.
But sir, your presentation is not showing here. Presentation.
Not showing?
No. It's like presentation, but not the slides are appeared here.
Not showing.
It's shown here that Chandra Jaggi is presenting, but not appeared. The slides are not appeared.
The slide is visible to me.
Okay, slide is visible.
Visible? Okay.
So Professor Jaggi, could you please go full screen the slides?
Yeah, it will go screen to me now.
Yes, now it's full screen. Yes.
So advances in mathematical modeling of infectious diseases, I just go over a little bit. Why maths is important? It's something that outline I just looked into it. The benefit important in mathematics, the understanding the words of mathematics, real life learning with mathematics. What I am trying to show here is we are trying to look into analyzing the impact of lockdown in India using WAS model. That is what we try to look into in the initial phase of the lockdown. When the initially lockdown was announced by Honorable Prime Minister, and then we try to look into how this impact will get into different states of India. Then we try to look into the real-life mathematical model for food packet distribution. That is a relief chain model that we try to look into that again application of mathematics is trying to see it. So whatever mathematics is the center of all of our culture and it's often confused with its philosophy. There are also mathematics in arts, since Pythagoras was the most famous mathematician, discovered numerical reason in musical harmony, and the relationship between the mathematics and the art has been permanent. These aspects of mathematics make them a bridge between the humanities and the natural sciences between the two cultures. Math helps us to have analytical thinking. Analytical thinking develops the ability to investigate and know the truth about the world around us. Mathematics develops the ability to think. Thanks to mathematics, we can explain how things work. The mathematics makes us smarter, can make money with the math. Mathematics is essential in order to not to lose money. Mathematics is essential to a world of constant change. Mathematics will be more presented in future. Mathematics makes a large part of our everyday life. Now, global connection, if we talk about the use of mathematics to model situations or events in the world, explanation of how the complexity and the interrelation, interdependence of the situation or the event or the world are reflected in the world, in the model. The data generated by the model make and defend a decision, and a decision or a conclusion supported by the mathematics within the context of a global community. The problem solving, the application of appropriate strategy to solve problems, the use of appropriate mathematical tools, procedure, and presentation to solve problems, the review of the proof of the correct and reasonable mathematical solution given the context. The development, explanation, and justification of mathematical arguments, including concepts and procedure use, coherently and clear communication using correct mathematical language and visual representation. The expression of mathematical ideas using the symbol and convention of mathematics. Now we come to a real life learning with the mathematics. Now here, in another lockdown effect over the Indian state with BAS model, innovation defeating model, that's what we try to look into, the application of BAS model in predicting what is going to happen. Now, the proposed model for the use of BAS diffusion model, or BAS model for short, developed in 1969 by the American academic Frank BAS. In fact, the original 1969 paper is one of the most cited papers in management science. The model categorizes the customers into two, the innovator and imitator. Now, probability of adopting by those who have not yet adopted is a linear function of those who have previously adopted, was made by the Frank and BAS. With the vast mathematical approach, we can explore the effect of innovators, that is, those in the social system that are external influences, and imitate those internally influenced. Predict the diffusion of our innovation, allowing us to understand when to ramp up service provision capability. Or in the marketing term, we say that is a product supply. Get a more accurate sizing of adopters types so that we can distribute our marketing budgets better. Understand the best timings to launch the next generation innovation, evaluate the market value of the business, and apart from above, on real life application, it is presented now. This is what we are just explaining how the BAS model is there. The BAS model was first published in 1963 by Frank and BAS. The model is titled an imitation model, provided a brief mathematical derivation of the derivation model from the basic assumptions of the market size and the behavior of innovators and imitators. The empirical evidence is provided in 1969 by BAS model paper. that is defined as this. Basically, this is the art rating design, that how you capture that. See the coefficient innovator and the cumulative adopter, whose function is NT. The vast model principle is basically an adoption in the first time purchase. Or we can say first time that you get affected, like or the product including service or the first time use of innovation. The portion of potential market that adopts a time T, given that they have not yet adopted, is equal to the linear function that is previously adopted. The T represents the time from the product launch and it is assumed to be non-negative. The three vast model parameters, the coefficient, the N is the potential market, the ultimate number of adopters, P the coefficient innovator, and Q the coefficient of imitator. Then adoption is the first time purchase of the product, including service, or this, or the first time user. Now, other variables of the vast model, the principles are FT, that is proportion of N that adopts at time T, FT is the proportion of N that have adopted at time T, and NT is adopter or adoption at time T, and NT is a cumulative adopter at time T. The assumptions we this model diffusion process is a binary, that means consumer either adopted or waited to adopt it. Fixed number of maximum potential buyers, that is N, that is N bar, that is maximum potential is there. But eventually all the potential buyers will adopt the product. That means here we say all they are going to be affected by COVID, but you have to protect yourself and then you can get be safe. No repeat or replacement purchase is counted. That is why this model is very applicable. If once you have been affected with the COVID, you will not get the COVID again. That is, a person purchase the product, it is counted as one person and not more than one. The differential equation describing this, whether solving this differential equation with these boundary conditions, then we get NTI, where P is called the coefficient innovation, and P is called the coefficient of imitators. Now here what we say, the coefficient imitator is greater than the coefficient innovator, and that is the way it is going to behave. When the coefficient innovator is greater than the coefficient, then it goes like. Now the vast model has numerous extensions and extensions. One such extension change in one of the vast model was modified by changing the function. Earlier it was just constant, now it is a BT, which is again. The BT is again a function which is defined as this. Consequently, the model change into this. We get solving this equation, we get a different form, although the boundary conditions remain the same. Now, concept of change point 2 in vast model was proposed by Kapoor et al. In 2007. The model is explained by the change given below, that is beta was this. We define as this, and beta t was this. Where tau is the change point, following the above equation, with the modification we arrive at this solution. The problem here what we try to look into, one of the most important aspects of this study is to accurately define the problem statement. It is of most important to have a clear objective to achieve it and also track progress. The study is trying to figure out the differences, the increase, decrease, or no change in the rate of spread of the COVID-19. In 10 Indian states, that is Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Andhra, and Gujarat, followed by lockdown imposed by the government of India on 24 March 2022. Now, adopted vast model with the change point was first used to analyze where the change point was considered to be the date of the first lockdown. That is, The model was utilized to calculate that is the number of infected people at time t. The standardization of the models are here that the people who are infected originally by means of the international travel or similar are equivalent to the innovator of the past model. The people who came to the virus were analogous to the imitators of this origin. A person once infected would be considered as infected. The model does not take into account the decreasing or recovered and only focuses on the confirmed case. The change point is considered to be the first lockdown, that is 25th of March 2020. The entire population would be eventually be affected by this virus. Assuming that there was a different rate of infection before and after the lockdown was closed. Now let's talk about the lockdown date and then the rate of spread of the infection diseases we consider as DTSS. Assuming that lockdown causes a change in rate of spread of infection, let the same be defined by the following. Where tau is the T is greater than tau. Now using the box model expression, this is the situation. Our equation means that if BT is the rate of spread of infection and I1 is the total population and IT is the number of infected people at time t, then only I1 minus IT would people would get infected. That is the remaining population. Now the case one, the pre-lockdown time, that means that is where the tau is t is less than your tau, because tau we have taken it as a lockdown date, and that is the function we can use in solving the above equation. With this we get this. The IT is the total number of infected confirmed cases in the state by time t, and B1 is the rate of spread of infection before lockdown. Now this is a post-lockdown. That means if our time is greater than tau, then this is basically the now during the NT equal to tau, that means n tau,
হ্যালো
IT is the
আচ্ছা আমি যে ওই ফিডব্যাকটা তৈরি করেছি সেটার মধ্যে সাবমিট বাটন আসছে না কেন
B2 is the rate of the spread of the infection after the lockdown and the tau, that is the lockdown rate.
তো সাবমিটের অপশনটা কি করে থাকবে এটা সেটিংস থেকে গিয়ে দেবো লিমিট হ্যাঁ এডিট আফটার সাবমিট তো দিয়েছি
that was used to
Uh-huh.
determine the rate of spread. The limit
Uh-huh.
function says that at time 0 the value of it is 0.
কি সেন্ড করব
If t tends to infinity, the value of it is
হ্যাঁ
that means you are going to reach your saturation or the population that we
হ্যাঁ
potential that maximum,
তোমার এখানে সেন্ড করতাম
which means the entire population will get infected by this point.
এর নামটা বলতো সোম SOM সোম @teju.in.in
where y cat is the estimated value and y is actual value, and then which are
ক্যামেরা কেন এমন হলো
variation. Then coefficient of determination, that is r
হ্যাঁ
square.
হ্যাঁ তখন তো আমি আইছিলাম দেখলাম এখানে হ্যাঁ শেয়ার করছি দেখো
Then we also can calculate your mean square.
এই এখানে তো সাবমিট অপশন দেয়া আছে
Relative predicted error. These are standard formulas which one everybody knows. Unless from this kind of thing we can look into. And then we look into the root mean square predictive error that can be calculated like this. Now we try to look into the lockdown effect on the variant states.
হ্যালো কিন্তু ওই সময় আমি স্টুডেন্টরা যখন দিব তখন পার্টিসিপেন্টরা যদি খুঁজে যদি না পাই তারা পার্টিসিপেন্টরা তো এমন কেন হইতেছে
And that the value of the rate of spread after the lockdown has gone down from the previous value of 11.2 to 6.6% of the
এখানে যে তোমার গেট শেয়ারেবল রেঞ্জ আছে ওইটা কোথায় আছে
that successfully curbed the rate of spread because of the imminent lockdown. The model achieved 99.7% value of R square.
সেটাই তো
Which signals correlate with the good state that we try to. And these are the errors which we calculated.
তিনটারও আছে কিন্তু এখানে সেন্ড অপশন আছে
Which we mentioned that we have calculated for the
গেট প্রি-ফিল্ড লিংক এটা নাকি
Again, if you see, the results of the last show the rate of spread infection were lower as compared to the post-lockdown period. However, this result was recorded because the first case in lockdown were recorded in 19th of March. That's
আচ্ছা
why
ধরো
the
তোমার
difference
এখন
in
এটা
the
বাড়াচ্ছে দেখো অক্ষণটা আর আগেরটা সেম সেম না দেখো
and that is R square comes out to be 99.8. That's very, very close to what it was there.
কিন্তু অক্ষণটা তোমার আমি ইয়ে পাঠালাম না এই সেন্ড করলাম কিন্তু আমি তো স্টুডেন্টরা সেন্ড করতেছি না
The decrease in the rate of spread of the
সেই তো
infection
বলতেছি
disease
তো এই লিঙ্কটা যদি দিই তো তুমি সাবমিট অপশন যদি না হয়
caused by
এক ঘন্টা দেখো
the analysis to show that common coefficient of determination.
তো তোমার এখন সেন্ড অপশন দিলাম সেন্ড করেছে বলে নতুন পাইছো একটা নাকি
That is where 0999 that comes out to be
হ্যাঁ 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 অক্ষণ যেটা আছে
square.
হ্যাঁ
That gives you the good fit of this path model.
হ্যাঁ এইটার মধ্যে সাবমিট অপশন
In
আছে
the state of Madhya Pradesh, the
এই অক্ষণে যেটা আছে এটা দিও
story tells how the
কোনটা
lockdown was ineffective for curbing the
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
spread of virus, but however, this may not be the true picture for the states in the fourth
ও
state
তো যে
recorded
ও
in
বলবে
the Madhya Pradesh was 20th of March.
ও যে কইলো বিপ্লবে
The result of this analysis being biased since not much time was allowed for the accurate
তুমি এটা দিও অক্ষণ যে লিংক যে পাঠাইছি
rate of spread of
হ্যাঁ এটা দিয়ে দিও হ্যাঁ
and here your conclusion
এর অক্ষণ তো তার শেষ হলে এরপরে
it's not
কোশ্চেন জিজ্ঞেস করবো হ্যাঁ এরপরে ম্যাডাম করবো এরপরে তুমি আমার টিউটোরিয়াল লিখতে
in the Tamil Nadu is showing the imaging decrease in the rate of spread. Both parameters might have decreased after lockdown. This means that the intended function of the lockdown was achieved in the state. The high value of the state determines shows a good state of the system.
অক্ষণ না এটা শুধু
Dry scan shows a
সব
slight decrease in the rate of transmission after the lockdown. Both the parameters have decreased in the post-lockdown period, meaning the lockdown was successful in the dry scan estimate.
কেমন
Uttar Pradesh, like we see, even though the state of Uttar Pradesh had cases early in the country, and the analysis shows that Uttar Pradesh has had a slower rate of infection before lockdown. This shows that lockdown did not manage to work in a densely populated state. Thus, the value could be determined almost coming to be one. The West Bengal, the number of the West Bengal say that the lockdown was ineffective for curbing the spread of virus. However, this may not be again the true picture in the first case was recorded on 17th of March. This might have been the case of negligence on the state government part of the authority in everything like the cases. In Andhra Pradesh, it also did not have a successful lockdown according to the parameters. Post lockdown is greater than the parameter before lockdown. However, it could not be spread of the virus was kept in check by the government in the pre-lockdown period had relatively very few infected to spread the virus, and the analysis may not be the real picture of the state again. Now, this when we go to Punjab, Punjab was on a successful lockdown. The rate of spread was reduced. A huge proportion in the state that seems to be impressive fall down. In the rate of spread, this translates the lockdown was very effective in slowing the virus. Now, even though the model has the R square value very high, right, it is lower than for the other state. In the study, it is also interesting to know that ARTE and RMC both are exceptionally high in this case. This could be explained by the low number of infections in the state. That is what we are trying to see here. So Delhi, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Punjab see the very drastic reduce in the rate of spread of the virus. According to the analysis, The state of Rajasthan shows a mild reduction in the rate. However, the remaining states, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh, do not show much effect, and on the contrary, see a spike in the rate of transmission after the lockdown was imposed. The first case in the state of Gujarat, Maharashtra, West Bengal was recorded really late and just a few days before the lockdown, and the rate of spread might not have been accurately recorded. The analysis hence may or may not be reflective of the true situation of these states. The analysis revealed a mixed bunch of results where it worked for 5 states and did not work for others. Even though the official record at least 50 states state that the lockdown. This is what we see that is one try to find out where the effective lockdown was effective or it was not effective. Now we try to look into the mathematical model if we have to distribute the food package to the quarantine center. How we are going to manage? Because each state has got its own quarantine center. If we try to model it with the help of a supply chain or a relief chain model in this case, we try to find out. Now that is basically a picture not related to the COVID, but that is different tragedies which might happen because in the real life, then what happens is how the food values and similar kind of studies can be implemented in this COVID. That is, if we look into supply chain, that we have a supply, then we have a demand, and we have a demand. Now, the relief chain management works in a different way. You have a supply from the different sources, demand is somewhere, and you have an intermediate channel also. And there, that is where the demand is the point, that is quarantine center that we try to look into and how to make the things available to them, that is we call it as a relief chain management. Now here, to optimize the cost of the whole operation, that is managing inventory and distribution of food package from central distribution center to the quarantine center. The number of regional distribution centers and quarantine centers. That means we have to find out how many regional distribution centers should be open and how many quarantine centers should be open. However, in this study, every quarantine center is considered to distribute the food package because of pandemic situation. Every quarantine center is ineffective. That we assume here. Now, each distribution center single commodity. That is the same for all distribution centers for the food package and consumable or perishable goods like food, milk, bread, like. The CDC, that is Central Distribution Center, is used as an initial distribution center for food package distribution. The commodity shift is considered from CDC to RDC, and then RDC to quarantine. Direct shipment is not possible to the quarantine. The fractional assignment is allowed, and that is, each quarantine center's demand must be satisfied from any distribution center. That means your regional distribution center. Each distribution center has enough storage capacity to fulfill demand from the connected facility. Now, there is no return, hence the replenishment we consider to be instantaneous. Whatever the things are coming or required, they are able to procure it. For the distribution process to the relief commodity, there is a need to consider a distribution center and quarantine center. And these facility centers have operational costs. Therefore, there is a fixed budget for the operational cost of this facility. The maximum number of distribution centers is 6 basically. Now these are the variables which we try to find out. DOI, that means 1 if RDC is operational, otherwise it is 0. ROJ is basically 1 if quarantine center is operational and otherwise it is 0. Why So I is one if RDC is assigned to CDC, period, and YIJ we want it quarantine center J assigned to RDC I. Otherwise it is true. These are the certain notations which we have used in formulating the model. The shipping cost from the community from CDC to RDC, the shipping cost from RDC to quarantine center, the unit community cost, holding cost of the CDC, holding cost of the regional distribution center, then order type of CDC, then RDC, and then the order type of the DA community of the quarantine center. Here we are saying now declaration rate of the community. And that is another cost we are adding, disposable charge for declaration rate. Because we are already having a peculiar situation, so we need to discard or dispose of all the declaration rate very safely, so that it should not add more to the target situation. These are operational costs for RDC, then RC, then RDC, RDC. And these are the maximum number of RDC, the minimum number, the quarantine center that is displayed. This is the situation. Now, this is the central distribution center, these are regional distribution centers, and these are quarantine centers. Now, as I said, there is no direct shipment from central to quarantine center, but each regional distribution center can fulfill the requirement of any quarantine center of that area that can be opened or closed. Now, related to inventory rechain from the distribution of food packets, the inventory is held at the central distribution center. To distribute among all the quarantine centers, the distribution of the late commodity takes place from central to regional. Obviously, the central to quarantine to regional, because there is no direct shipment, we are allowing from CDC to QC. Here we try to have the cost factors. The cost is associated with the distribution of commodities, and cost to open the distribution quarantine center for the inventory. Now, this is the inventory system, that is ordering cost, and we have holding cost, and we have procurement cost, and then you have a disposal cost of declared inventory. Now, these are basically your costs associated with the distribution, that is the cost of the opening of the distribution center, the quarantine center, and this inventory system cost is basically this is defined as your ordering cost, and we have the holding cost, maybe ordering cost, holding cost, and the cost of the inventory, this is your disposable cost. And next we try to find out the maximum and the minimum. We have constraint on minimum and maximum number of regional distributors. Similarly, we have a constraint on the quarantine center also. That means we have to find out the how many. Now, this says the demand and supply. CDC to RDC. Now, Q0 was originally received from the central distribution center. After inspection, we try to find out that some of the things in the package are not usable. That means they have either gone deteriorated or they are degraded. So we try to segregate that is the inspection is being carried out, and the good quality products are being shipped from CDC to RDC. And that is supplied from the RDC, that is the maximum material. If there is anything that again we can check at RDC also to dispose of if something is going wrong with the product, then effective quantity that goes from there to the region from RDC to quarantine. And this is a budget concept because we have something fixed. And this is assignment to RDC, the assignment of RDC to CDC, that is has to be limited, but they are all connected, those who have been operational, otherwise they are not. Assignment of the quarantine center to RDC, that is basically this way. No shipment from the direct shipment from CDC to QC, that takes care here. Every QC has should be assigned to RDC. That is mandatory. That I believe earlier positive. That is the mathematics which we are trying to look into. We are trying to model it out and how this mathematics can be looked into under current situation. And that is we try to look into how this is going to work it out. Now shipping charges we have taken that is from the CDC to RDC, then ordering cost from CDC to RDC, then quantity at the centers, there was a requirement that is CDC and RDC that is we trying to find out. The shipping costs basically from RDC to QC, the holding cost that CDC and RDC at the quarantine center we are just distributing, we are not using inventory for that. And demand at the center, that is how much requirement is there for the quarantine center, that is we try to look into. On data input, that was the CA, that is a rate of situation, that is power, that is the minimum, and maximum, minimum, maximum, and the operational cost. This is for the operational cost, and for the RDC, and this is operational cost for quarantine centers which cater to those. Then this we try to find out the total cost is coming out to visit where holding cost is this, disposable cost is this, and inventory carry for this visit. And the distribution of meat from CDC to this, that is coming out to be this way. And the distribution of relief from RDC to RDC, that is basically how it is going to from 3 RDC to 5 quarantine centers and how it is being distributed. Maybe one is connected with your third estate, second is connected with your first, second, and third, and third is connected with second and fourth. That is what we try to. And then we try to find out, try to do some sensitivity analysis on this model, that how it is going to work it out on different parameters, that means H0, H1, H2, and H3 basically. And then if we take the parameter rho, that if it is question 1, then it is the cost of disposable, like how it matters basically. Thank you. Okay. This. And just talk to my Kevin, and if there is any question, we to.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable lecture and showing us the application of bus model in COVID-19 perspective and also in supply chain modeling. So now I handed over to Dr. Biplab Sarkar to provide you the questions that might be asked from our participants. So over to you.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vijay. So, Professor Jagmeet, there are a few questions asked by the participants. The first question is by Malan. The question is, does BESS model works to rural areas during lockdown?
See, that is basically that the data which we have collected from the ministries, from the state ministries, because whatever the data was available, because we cannot go in that pandemic situation in the lockdown, we can only collect data through the website. So whatever the information is available on the website of the state, whether it is rural or urban, that is they have not distinguished between the information which they have posted on their website. So we cannot say anything with surety whether they have included both or they have only had the urban. That we cannot say anything with surety. That depends on the state government how they are posting it on their website. That depends.
Okay, sir. So the next question is by Sagupta Naz. So she is asking, can we use this model to check the situation of our local area?
Definitely, you can see, because only thing is you have to look into the authenticity of the data. If the data is authentic, then you can definitely make use of this fast model. Basically, this fast model was used for marketing. Nowadays, it is giving a because marketing introduction of a new product, this COVID-19 was also introduction of a new product for the whole community. Okay, nobody was aware of this thing. What is going to happen? And there was no remedy available. Now, all the states, I think all over the world, specifically I can say with respect to India, now we are well equipped because we are know how to handle it. Okay, this is such a thing, COVID, that is going to touch each and everybody. All population is going to get affected with this COVID. Somewhere or the other. Some may be passing through very easily, having a strong immunity. When people are all educated now, how to they should take precautions for themselves. Thank you. It is very much appreciated.
Thank you, sir. So we have one last question by Bishajit Devroy. The question is, does BEST model applies to municipal areas where the COVID cases are high, followed by high death rate?
Definitely. Because it all depends upon the rate. We have to determine the rate at which rate. Because recently in Delhi, I can say about Delhi, the recovery rate was 91-92%. But recently, the number of cases has gone up. In the last few days, if you observe, the number of cases all over India has gone up. So in one day, it was 77,000 cases were reported 2 days back. So because we have taken it very casual situation, the moment we get into a casual situation, then it is going to be a better. That is the way. If we protect ourselves, I think we will be safer. That can be.
Yes. So one question is posted just now. The question is by Durga Rembai. How is BEST model effective in any area to check the increase of COVID-19?
See, whatever the past data you can get the number of cases, then you have a predicted rate. Then you estimate that, and then you are trying to predict for data that way. Because if you see 5 states were doing good and 5 states were not doing good, because of somewhere or the other, because that all depends what kind of information or data is available to you. Accordingly, the model will take whatever you are putting in, accordingly you are estimating, and then accordingly your BAS model will predict accordingly. The accuracy of data collected will depend upon the good forecast. Otherwise, BAS model gives a very accurate forecast in practically. It is very helpful. This model is very helpful in predicting.
So one more question is coming up. Pelete is asking which best model for COVID-19? Which is the best model for COVID-19?
See, there is no best because that is basically BAS model. There is a number of variations are there. Initially, B was constant. Then B was taken as a logistic function. Accordingly, depending upon how the rate is, you can estimate the rate of change. And that rate of change can be located in any kind of function that can be applied. But beta E, BT, can change, can take different forms. We have considered two, logistic as a constant. So here we have used logistic form. It was not going straight. That way.
Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for answering the questions. So now I hand over to Dr. Vijay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We hope that in future also we'll be here in Catchpur physically. So although it is on online mode, so we hope that in future also we can hear from you physically. Thank you, sir.
Anytime.
So thank you, sir. Now may I request HOD Madam, Professor Charulata Mahanta, who is a pathfinder for us and always helpful, to present the concluding remark. Please, Madam.
Good afternoon, respected Professor Jaggi, Professor S.K. Sinha, Dean, School of Engineering, the faculty members of the Department of Applied Sciences, and the participants of this webinar.
I am very thankful to both the speakers, the learned speakers, Professor Nita Hansmukh Shah of Gujarat University, Professor Chandra K. Jaggi of Delhi University, for having taken their time off to deliver their lectures on a very important topic. And this topic is relevant in today's time, in today's pandemic situation, and the enthusiastic participation of the participants through their questions indeed tells us that this topic has been very relevant to them. Actually, this modeling gives us the understanding of some phenomena of how the disease will progress and how disease is going to respond to certain interventions. And therefore, thereafter, we can take precautionary measures to mitigate the severity. In that sense, many of these infectious diseases can be mathematically modeled, and I am so thankful to our learned speakers who have shed some light on this through their extensive research works. They are experts in their own domain, and therefore their talks have been very helpful. I must thank here our very spirited, young, and energetic faculty, Dr. Vijay Krishna Devnar, who has taken all the trouble and all the initiative to have this webinar, the first of its kind being implemented or being conducted by our department. So I'm very thankful to him. As earlier also our Dean of School of Engineering has already told that all the faculty members of this department are very energetic, very spirited. So I am sure that in the future also they will be coming up with many more webinars. And I'm thankful to Professor Sritish Kumar Sinha for having taken his time off also to share his thoughts during this webinar. And so, Professor Jaggi, we look forward to your help in the research activities of this department in the near future, because these faculty members, they are highly oriented towards doing good research. So maybe they may take your help in the future. So looking forward to continued participation and cooperation. I conclude my remarks here.
Thank you. I will definitely be available in any kind of whatever way. If I could extend my views or any kind of help, then I will always help anybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
May I request Dr. Vijay Krishna Devnath for the concluding vote of thanks. And also the participants, we will be sharing the feedback link in the YouTube live comment box. Please share your valuable feedbacks. Thank you. Over to Vijay.
So, thank you all. First of all, let me thank to the keynote speakers, Professor Jaggi and Professor Shah, for their valuable talk, and we are also grateful to our dynamic Vice Chancellor sir, although he is not here due to some overlapping of another event, but we are working under the vision under his leadership. So we are thankful to you, sir. My heartful thanks to Dean sir and HOD madam for their guidance. I am also thankful to all the participants and my fellow colleague members. And last not the least, I thank to two important person, Mr. Pankaj Shoika, Office Assistant of TLC, and Mr. Saurabh Mahanta, Library Assistants. Without their help, technically, we cannot do this webinar. So thank you all, and once again thank you to the entire team and our HOD madam and Dean sir. And with this I end this program. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. হুম 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 আসলো তো তুই আমারটা ইয়ে করছে